place and your stronghold to whole body wellness. This is a transformation series, and we're going to talk today, and I do want to spend some time with you today. We've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about behavioral illnesses, things that happen to people as a result of stress, as a result of environmental stress, and I want to speak a little bit about that. And then we want to look at how to begin our transformation and how to make it work for us. And I gave you a challenge last week, and so we're going to talk about my challenge. But first, so I want to say that, you see, I have red on this morning. This is Go Red Month, and we should have it all year, emphasizing that. So what this is I made a little note here that this is 16 years of Go Red, recognizing the advances that we have made in terms of women and cancer, stroke, and those related illnesses. So before we get started, we talked our very first series about how a person believes. And I gave you on last week an exercise that said, please identify all of the beliefs, or begin to identify the things that you believe in. And so what I want to do is to get you to go and get your beliefs that you have outlined, and let's see if we can make some sense of those beliefs. There is a little formula that helps us to move forward in transforming our lives. It says that we must know who we are as an individual. So in order to know that, we must think that we have a mind and a brain, and that the brain has been equipped with all kinds of neural impulses, things we see through our eyes, things we touch. The brain is registering everything, and the brain registers everything, and the toll or the count is given in the body. So if we have an overwhelming impact of information on our system, the body then begins to introduce it as a stress. And so when we have as a stress, there's a chemical input that lets the body know that you either have to take care of this situation or you're going to have to run. And they call it the fight or flight syndrome. And what that happens is that there is a chemical that builds up, and I don't want to get technical at this time until our physicians come on the next couple of weeks. It builds up in our system and affects our heart. Our heart begins to beat. How our food processes in the body changes. And then so now we can then have what? Cardiovascular disease. We can have intestinal problems. And so I'm not going to say that it's just about one thing, stress. Trauma is then something where the stress occurs. But when the stress situation is removed, the body is still responding as if the stress is there. Now, can you identify any of those symptoms for yourself? Can you identify that you may have a rash on your skin? Do you have hearing loss momentarily? Do you have any of those situations that could eventuate in your body? Now, I'll just give you a personal situation. On last year, what I noticed is that I walked in the park, and the concrete was not level, and I fell on the concrete as I was walking, face down, and I mean that was an impact. So I laid there, it was a shock. So my body registered it. And as people tried to help me get up, I was telling a friend on yesterday, I was saying, don't touch me. Because right then, the body was saying it needed to register itself as to where it was, because I was in a shock. When they did pick me up, all I had to do was to stand and start moving my body around to see if it was anything broken or it felt like it was broken. So let me just tell you something. To this day, I still feel that fall in the right leg, okay, which took the impact. So what I'm saying is, you can have emotional trauma, you can have a physical trauma, and the body will register that trauma. Okay? So when we have mental illness, stress then occurs. Let's make it real plain and simple. Stress occurs. The body then has to determine whether or not it has the facility to handle that through its beliefs. Number one. Now you have different types of mental illness, but I'm talking about environmental mental illness and the manner in which we are capable of handling our stress that we take. Now where does all this interpretation comes from? We have had past experiences and we have current experiences. Our body chooses to relate the current situation to something in the past, and we then give meaning to the current situation. What I want to say is that when we are in the process of transformation, we want to be aware of what is occurring in the present. We want to reinterpret or relabel what is occurring in the present. Now, how are we going to do this? Because we're all different. We all come from different places. So when I ask you to do your beliefs help you move from one situation to another, from one trauma situation to another. So now, if I believe in something higher than myself, I am then going to speak to that when I feel that I cannot handle the current situation. Secondly, what I'm going to do is begin to know and believe in what I have learned about competency, what I can handle. So your beliefs then tie in with your past experiences and to help you be in the present so you can interpret and reinterpret the current situation. Now let me see if I can think of an example. When my daughter died, I felt a true sense of loss. And I remember distinctly wondering, how could this happen to such a young girl? What could this why is this happening to me? And then I began to cry and scream and cry. And I tell people how I went to the closet and I screamed, and then it was getting too loud. I went and got a pillow. And then I was able to get it all out about a few times. And then something came to me with the things that I've been taught, is that I control nothing, and that I was not responsible for what had happened to her. And then I began to think of the things that I had done to support her life. What came to me was to realize that I was only her caretaker here on earth, and that she had been given to me and was a true blessing. And I had that wonderful period of time with her. So what I'm sharing with you is how I had to change my beliefs and thinking about the particular situation and what does that mean for me in the present and the future. In the present, it meant that I needed to take care of her daughter. I needed to then believe in something higher than myself and continue to believe and learn more about what it is that I believe in that's bigger than me. Because when one uses their brain, one is only able to think of the thoughts that come from seeing, hearing, and doing. But when one believes in higher and collect their beliefs, one then strengthens their mind. Now we're doing plain talk here today. We're not doing psychological talk. We're not doing medical talk. We're doing survival talk as it relates to stress and trauma. So when one then changes their beliefs, one then can rely and call upon those beliefs in the time of physical trauma, emotional trauma, environmental trauma, and any time you are then empowered to use what you have learned and what you've gained. So here's what we know. We know that what one thinks influences and impacts the feelings. And what one feels impacts what one does, their actions. And that your thinking, your feeling, and your actions, how we perceive it, how we respond tends to drive home the pain, the illnesses that we receive in our lives. Okay, here's some techniques that can help you handle the stress and trauma that you experience. One is being in the moment and actually feeling the preciousness of your breath. When you can breathe in through your nose, and I usually hold it for a little bit, and then exhale through your mouth. Drop your shoulders. That allows us to be in the present, not in the past, and not in the future. And some of the other things are to actually stand and move your body to the left or to the right. And on our next show, we will, on one of our other shows, we will demonstrate this. Other things are biofeedback, which we offer here. And it helps us to recognize the awareness that we experience. It also can help with remaining conscious and decreasing distraction, especially good for increasing memory and decreasing and helping with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So I want to thank Mr. Harry Campbell of Biotech International, because he is our trainer, and he will demonstrate some of these techniques.
Hi, I'm Harry Campbell from Biofeedback Resources, and I'd like to demonstrate for you a very inexpensive biofeedback device called the SC911 digital temperature. It also is sometimes called a stress meter. Temperature is something that can be measured to indicate changes in the level of stress or relaxation in a person. Usually when a person is more relaxed, their hand temperature is going to be warmer or higher, because the blood vessels in the hands will open up or dilate when the person is more relaxed. There are actually smooth muscles in the blood vessels that will relax when a person relaxes, and therefore the opening in the blood vessels will be wider, so more blood gets through to the hands and the hands become warmer. When a person becomes stressed, then the hand temperature usually will decrease, because the blood vessels will become smaller as the muscles in the blood vessels tighten, letting less blood in and therefore making the hands cooler. We use biofeedback instruments to measure these changes, and we normally, in clinical use in a medical office, we would use what we would call a clinical grade instrument, which is basically a very fancy and very accurate and fast acting or reacting thermometer. The clinical grade instruments are going to be more expensive, because the technology to make the temperature react faster is more expensive. But we also have instruments that are used at home, people use at home to practice with, that don't have to be quite as fast, and they're fine for practicing at home. The SC911 is one of those instruments that is intended to be used at home. It gives you temperature changes to 1/10 of a degree, which is the minimum that's recommended for biofeedback training, because for only seeing whole degree changes, it's not going to be sensitive enough for a person to really tell whether they're increasing or decreasing in a sensitive way. So what we usually do is we will take a piece of tape, and we take the end of the temperature sensor, which we call a thermistor, onto the finger, like this. There are different ways to tape it on the finger, but I'm just showing you a quick, simple way. And then the instrument itself is going to show the temperature digitally to 1/10 of a degree on the face of the instrument. So what I'm going to do is just do a close-up of the face of the instrument so you can see that a little better. Okay, now I am retaping the sensor to my finger, and you should be seeing the changes in the temperature on the face of the instrument. So now it's at 89.1 and changing, going up 89.8, 90.1, and it takes about a minute or so to catch up with the actual temperature of my hand, and then after the first minute or so, then it would be showing changes in my hand temperature. So if my hand temperature is just stable, then you won't see much of a change. Or if I am reacting to stress, then you would probably see the temperature start to drop. If I am relaxing, then you'll probably see the temperature go up. So right now we're seeing about 91.4, and when we're doing relaxation training in biofeedback, our goal is to get to about 94 or 95 degrees, and an advanced technique would require that we maintain that temperature for about 30 minutes. We're deeply relaxing. And some of the applications that hand temperature training is helpful with include hypertension, migraine headaches, just general stress reduction, Raynaud's, and even asthma. And now you can see the temperature continues to go up. Now we have 92.3 degrees, and I'm just going to be silent for a minute or so and see if I can make the temperature go up any more by relaxing. That's my cell phone. That's not going to help. Hello? Yeah? I'm at the office. In a little while. What time is it now? Okay. Okay, see you. Bye. Well, that actually was not planned as part of the demonstration, but look at the effect. As I was relaxing quietly, you saw the temperature was going up, and when I got the phone call and talked on the phone, you can see the temperature drop some. And now, since the phone call is over and I'm trying to relax again, you can see the temperature starting to go back up again. So let's see if I can get to 94 degrees. Okay, so I made 94 degrees, and what I was doing is just relaxing quietly, my eyes closed, breathing diaphragmatically. and I was able to get up to 94.1 degrees so far. And I think under conditions of doing a demonstration, that's pretty good. I'm not going to push it. Okay, so that's concludes the demonstration of the SC911 temperature instrument, which can be used at home to practice relaxation. Often people will do their relaxation exercise, whether it's diaphragmatic breathing or meditation or imagery, guided imagery. They might take the temperature sensor on their finger and see what the temperature was at the beginning of their relaxation and see what the temperature was doing as they were doing the relaxation, and at the end to see whether the temperature was higher than it was when they started and whether they got to 94 or 95 degrees. And you can keep track of those pieces of information over time to see how your relaxation training is going. If you'd like more information on the SC911 temperature instrument or any other biofeedback instruments or training, you can give us a call at our toll-free number, 877-669-6463 or 914-762-4646, or you can visit us on our website, www.biofeedbackinternational.com. Thank you.
I want you to identify what you believe. And then list below your beliefs how you have practiced your beliefs this week, this past week, and this coming week. And identify the things that you would like to change in your life, the things that you would like to accomplish. It's something that says that we are who our deep burning desires are. And that it's so is our deep burning desires, so is our will. So is our will, so is our deed. And so what I'm saying is, let's look at what your deep burning desire is. Now this is one thing we want to pay attention to. If we believe something, let's look at how often we are true to our beliefs. Okay? So what I want to say today is, I know we usually have guests, but what I wanted to do, I felt we had a need to really summarize some of the things that we talked about. I know that the doctor was in, and we talked about health. I took the challenge, and I want you to know that I'm on my challenge, because I believe that healthy people, when I connected my mind and my body, I recognized that I was overweight. And I am now more active into making those changes because I want to be more consistent with what I believe. So we will continue my challenge. I want you to know that I did go and do my exercise. I did a strenuous 45-minute yesterday, and I had additional water, and I'm not quite close to half my body weight, as the doctor suggested. And I am juicing until 12 noon each day, okay? And I'm using some of his recipes. So we're on track with that, and we shall see. Now I'm going to give you some numbers at the end of next month. I'll give you my weight numbers, and we'll see where we are with that. So I'm hoping that this time is really good for us. And if you have any questions about what we discussed, make sure you please email me at ips.health1, the number 1, @gmail.com. Now remember this. Renew your beliefs, rebuild your faith, and reconnect families and communities. For it is not the circumstances that we meet, it is the manner in which we respond that determines health, happiness, and success.